Hey there, everybody. Happy Saturday, wherever you are. And I am Gloria Coppola, a story development coach, best-selling author, and publisher, and proud to bring on one of my newest authors today in the book that we just released, Awakening the Consciousness of Humanity. Jessica Mariah actually is a coach. She's an energy healer, and she's done a lot of work on herself, especially this past year during the pandemic when she had her awakening, because she literally talks about how she got shocked. That's right, she got shocked out of her sleep. So we're going to find out what actually happened and bring her on and welcome her. And please feel free to comment on the post down below, because I'm wondering how many of you have felt like your life was going to crumble, right? We've had that, right? And that you just thought like it's all going to fall out from you, like the earth is just going to fall out from you. And, we all go through struggles, right? So Jess is going to share how she went from that place in her life, not all the details though, because you need to go grab a copy and read the whole thing, okay? So let's bring on Jessica without any further ado. Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning. Yay.
Yay,
We're
we
on.
did.
I can't believe it. Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So congratulations on actually being a best-selling author in the book, because we are moving up. People are enjoying the book. The reviews are coming in. And today is our official book launch. So we have it on 11, perfect number for all of us as we're awakening our consciousness. So good morning out there. Come on and say hello.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here. We waited so long.
Yeah, you got shocked out of your sleep, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today without giving the story away. We've got people commenting already. So Jasmine says, good morning. Is that your sister?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. So I have a question for you before we get into the guts of your story. How scary was it for you to actually write this and then reveal it to the public?
I was terrified. I was just so worried about allowing all of myself, as vulnerable as I got and raw, to have these words out there in the world. Is a very scary feeling, especially when I battled all my life with judgment and being judged and judging myself mostly. And I've always been worried about what people think. So it was very earth-shattering for me to put myself out there like this, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm putting this out there. I'm going to lose so many people in my life because they might not resonate with what I'm saying. And as time has gone on, I've been more comfortable with it, and like the mission and my message is much more important than anything else.
Absolutely. Well, you know
more
what?
important than the mantra.
Yeah, we write our stories actually, Jessica, not for ourselves, for the world. And your message and what your awakening brought you to as a mission in your life is really an important one. And we'll touch upon that a little bit later on. But everybody I think feels that way. Are we going to be judged? I mean, gosh, judgment is like the theme this past year, right? Judging this and judging that. So I want to congratulate you on your courage and bravery to share your message with the world. And I've been watching your timeline. You have a lot of people that have supported you, probably more than anybody I've seen so far. I have some great reviews on Amazon coming in. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just humbled, truly humbled by it all.
And good morning, Jazina.
Yeah, this is my other sister.
Hey, we got the family in the house.
Yeah. I have a great support system.
So you moved past that fear. You got into some gutsy stuff in your story. We were able to get that out. You had to change your life in a lot of ways. And there's something that you write in your story that I would like you to elaborate a little bit more for our audience, so that when they actually go read your story, they understand maybe why you did this.
Okay.
You sat down and wrote a resentment letter to God. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Well, I'm a little teary-eyed just talking about it now. It was very powerful when I realized I didn't realize that I had held resentment towards God. It was very shocking to me because I've done so much work internally for 10 years. And I had anger towards God. Of course, I questioned why me? Why have all these things happened to me? And I've spoken to him several times. And I didn't think, I thought I resolved everything. So to come to the realization that, oh my God, I have all of this anger and resentment towards God, I'm like, it was hard. And when I realized it, I dropped to my knees in just despair because I'm like, wow. And that's when I wrote that resentment letter, like it was just earth shattering and humbling. And it was just, yeah, you have to
You
read
know,
it.
yeah, they have to read it for sure. And I remember you saying in the story that you had felt abandoned by God and then you realized you didn't. And there's kind of a thread and a theme through these stories that I'm always amazed when we finish publishing, when I finish working with all of you guys, because I don't know what anybody's going to write about in the beginning and I don't know where it's going to go. But Jessica, there's a thread about the relationship with God in all these stories. It's amazing. And then what's really amazing, you guys know, we are neck and neck. If anybody has heard of the book Conversations with God by Neil Diamond Walsh, which has been out for like, what, 20 years or so, and he's a #1 bestseller, we are neck and neck,
That is
right?
amazing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, just to be side by side in that category. So, which means we're showing up as #3 because there's an Audible book in there and they don't really count that. But we're showing, so Neil's got his first book and then he's got his second book. There's somebody's Audible and then there's us. That's amazing. So God is listening and we're listening to God, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes, I am.
Yeah, yeah. So the pandemic really kind of kicked this into gear for you, correct?
Yes. Yes.
You were on some kind of a quest. Tell us about that. What was
Um,
your quest?
my quest prior to the pandemic or after?
Well, you have in here, my quest was to understand what was happening to our world during the pandemic. I was
Yes.
on a search for truth. What were you searching for?
Well, honestly, and I will preface this to say that I think COVID-19 is very real. I myself had it a few weeks ago, so I know it's a real thing. I just want to say that. But I did not feel my body, every sense that I had was like, something's not right. Something didn't feel right. It felt completely off. The everything, the media, just the noise outside was just wrong. It felt very off in my body. And I'm like, okay, I have to turn this off. I have to turn all the external noise off and I need to go within. And I said, God, please give me the answers. I need truth. I need you to show me the truth. No matter how hard it's going to be, I just need to know the truth. And I needed to search for it in here as opposed to listening to the noise out there.
Yeah, and because you are an energy healing facilitator, those of us that are in the healing arts, we're feeling a lot of different things happening. And most of the people that I have talked to, like yourself, we had to remove ourselves from all the static energy and really get in touch with that. And you were having dreams, you were having all kinds of stuff happening, and in that search, what did you find out? What were you exposed to?
Oh, I was exposed to how sinister our world is, how very dark and corrupted. And like I said, it shocked me out of my sleep because it did exactly that. The dream I had shocked me. I literally had sleep paralysis from what everything was going on in the dream. And I woke myself up by roaring like a lion. And that was what was able, because I couldn't move. So when I say I literally shocked myself up and awake, and I haven't been the same since.
Well, and
Because
you talk about in your book a past of having abuse, okay? And it ties in with what you got shocked to understand happening in this world. So, and it's also part of your mission now. What is that?
Human sex trafficking, human trafficking. Yes. Being sexually abused in the past, obviously there's a connect there. I mean, obviously not the same, but I have my heart bleeds when I think about the suffering of children suffering out there. And I've always had this need to protect children, um, due to my, circumstances. But so to finally understand and come to the realization of not just that there's human trafficking, but at the level that it exists and how high up it goes. It's
And
sinister and
Jessica,
very tough.
it's yes, and I agree. And I have been also looking at that for many years. Matter of fact, I shared with you this morning. I had a disturbing dream last night about it again, and that's been happening a lot this past year or so. Seeing, what is going on and waking up, literally being shocked out of my sleep too. But 2020 has been a time, I feel, for those that wanted to take the opportunity to really lift that veil. 2020 gave us vision, okay, clarity. And not everybody wants to see what you and I have uncovered, but it is an issue. It's a big issue. And there have been people that have been trying to expose this for years, but nobody really wants to believe it because it's a hard thing to believe. But when you think about this, everybody, for a moment. Remember the milk cartons with the kids missing? You
Hmm.
know, the kids went missing. Where did they go missing to? This is what we have to start questioning. And people are kind of going like this. They don't really want to fully engage with that. So I know that this is something very emotional for you. It's something that you definitely have connected with. And you talk about awareness in your story. How can, based on your experience now, okay, and paying attention to energy and paying attention to your dreams, what advice do you have for listeners out there about raising their awareness and how helpful it can be in your life?
Awareness is everything. It's everything. It's actually awareness is the beginning of your healing process. It changes everything because the minute you are aware of it, you can do something about it. You know where to go to fix it or to heal. And once you become hypersensitive and aware of, when you become aware of yourself, of what's in here, you start becoming aware of what's really out there because you start feeling more. Because when you become aware, you start healing. And the more you heal and clear the gunk out, I should say, you become this clear vessel. So that vessel is able to truly hold space for God, for God's energy, for your energy, your higher self that is of God. And
Mhm.
that will now make you more sensitive to the outside world and what's really happening, not what you're being told, because you get to filter it through here, through the channel that is God.
Yes, I agree. I agree. You know, I've been watching this past year specifically, although I always have been an observer, how many people really are not aware of so many things,
Mm.
will just buy into whatever people tell them. And so I want to really, put it out there, not only for the people out there, but for you, Jessica. It took a lot of courage to unlearn everything you knew, didn't it?
Oh, yes, it did. It really did. And that's exactly the thing. It takes courage to, when you realize that you do have to unlearn everything you were taught. It really
Yeah.
does. It really does, because you're going against the mainstream, and people will call you crazy, and people will call you conspiracy theorist, and people will nowadays probably call you a lot worse than that. Um, but it doesn't matter, because once you come into who you are, who you really are, which is divine, you realize it doesn't matter what anyone outside of you has to say.
Absolutely. We find our purpose, don't we?
Yes. The purpose and the mission become so much more powerful than any of that mind chatter.
And I found it fascinating too how this journey led you to connect with the great granddaughter of President Eisenhower.
I know.
Also is on this mission, and you had an interview with her yesterday. Congratulations. How'd that go?
Thank you. Whoa, it was we are powerhouse for sure. It was amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful interview. We just went through so many layers. She's an amazing person, heart and soul. You could feel her. She's so passionate. I was so honored to be on that podcast with her, and I'm still thinking about how did this happen? It's amazing. And God told me a few months ago, I think it was November, Laura Eisenhower is going to interview you. I was like,
Wonderful.
shut up.
Don't tell God to shut up. Girl, you just got connected to that channel.
Like,
So
no way.
everybody out there is listening to Jessica. She is one of our newest best-selling authors. The book that we are officially releasing, actually last night, Awakening the Conscience of Humanity. Her story is 2020 shocked me out of my sleep. She had quite a roller coaster ride in her journey. She had to reach out to your aunt, who's also into the healing and the shaman beliefs, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
she helped you, didn't she? Kind of pay attention to be more aware.
Yes, she was the one I reached out when I first heard the message from God in the middle of this, and I talk about that in the book, how I was literally woken up and I heard this message, and it wasn't internal, it was actually something audible, and I was like, whoa, it's very scary to hear. You're in a dark room and it's like, okay, who's talking to you?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, what is this? What's going on? And I reached out to her. And yeah, she's been paramount in my spiritual journey. She started me off. And then for the first 2-3 years, and still I go to her for advice and guidance sometimes. But yeah, she anchored me into this world. And she has been, yeah, very, like, even with this stuff with the human sex trafficking, she's been trying to tell me about this. My sister Jasmine has been trying to wake me up to this stuff for years, and I'm like, okay, right, this is really happening.
What's been a big piece for me with that trafficking piece is you realize some of the people, especially in Hollywood, that have been involved in it. You go, oh God, no, not them too. So yeah, we have to really take responsibility for what's going on in the world, I feel, and not put blame on a single person or a party of people or anything, because my feeling is energetically we're all connected. And
Well, yeah.
in the book, I don't know if you got a chance to read it yet, but I begin it with lies. Every day in every way we live lies. We cover up things we don't want to hear. We don't research enough to stretch our comfort zone. I mean, this past year, Jessica, I don't know about you, but I've learned more than I ever imagined with history and everything. And like they say, history repeats itself. And when I was stuck in not wanting to accept certain things, and I want to put this out to everybody, go explore a little bit more. And like Jessica did, and many of us have done, we had to unlearn, right? Old indoctrinations and belief systems to open these insights. What can you tell our viewers today, on that process? And I know it wasn't easy for you either.
To unlearn everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, honestly, the best way to do that is start healing yourself.
Personally healing, yes.
Personally healing, because that is, you have to clear yourself of the density that we carry. You have to heal yourself of, honestly, programs. We're very programmed. And I know a lot of people mention the word program. We're literally like programmed, and we have things attached to us that
That's what it's called, TV programs.
yeah, it's like we have things attached to us that are meant to keep our power, like siphon our power, siphon our energy, and keep us small. So yeah, that's definitely the beginning, is really your healing. Go inside. And we all have something to heal. It doesn't matter how perfect your life was, how
That's right.
perfect your childhood was. Everyone has something. Because
It's
if you walk
something.
around,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well,
start
yeah.
clearing the channel and becoming
Yeah.
aligned. Like that word alignment is actually key, because it really means is when you become aligned, you're aligned to who you are. I mean, you could go much deeper and say chakras aligned and everything, but to get it to become aligned with who you are and literally merge with that divinity within you, you got to clear the muck and the sludge, the density. We
Absolutely.
all carry it. It's in our cells, it's in our bodies. And you get that out, you become this clear vessel for your higher self, for your God within to flow through you. And once you have
Absolutely.
that, truth becomes starts getting revealed to you. You're able to hear the actual messages because it's not muddled by the outside world and their belief systems.
Well, and you also talked about being muddled because of the use of medications and marijuana and all of that. And you had to go through a process of clearing all that out too, so that you can get clear.
Yeah, the clearing is just not emotional. The clearing is definitely on the physical level. And I was on medication, anti-anxiety medication for years. And after when I was coming off of it, I realized how dissociated I was from my body. When I went through I went through 2 months without sleeping, and I'm not exaggerating. I would go out at night, 3 in the morning, pace back and forth, because every time I would go to sleep, I would like, I couldn't breathe because that's when I noticed my soul and my body were not attached.
Yes.
And that is what these, I'm not a doctor or pharmacist, but I'm going to tell you my experience, these pills do to you. They keep you unattached to who you are. They
Very true.
disconnect you from your true being, from that God within you. So it's super important to come off of that stuff, because it's going to be hard for you to ever get the truth and connect with your divinity. And that's what that was the biggest lesson. And it was really hell. The hardest thing, even harder than giving birth to my daughter. And that's a
You know,
painful
Jessica,
experience.
years ago when I was training massage therapists, I would try to explain these things to them. And, a lot of them were very young and in their 20s and in the party realm and all, and they just didn't want to buy it or hear it. But energetically, I can feel that there's an energy to the different medications, the recreational drugs, all. And I wouldn't even let them practice on me, do their final exam on me, because I can feel it. And one girl thought she can get away with it. And I said, oh, no, no, honey, I can actually describe the energy of what you took. And she was blown away with that. So this is what happens when you are clear, when you can connect. Sometimes it's overwhelming, even as an empath, to connect with all these things. So you do want to learn how to take care of yourself. That's a important thing. And Robert Crown is on here. Robert actually, I don't know if you know him, Jessica, he wrote a book, but he also had a situation in his life of abuse and trafficking, and he's an advocate against the trafficking too. So thank you, Robert, for coming on here.
Thank
We
you.
you and drop a line down below, Robert, with the name of your book too, so people can, read that and understand what's going on in this world. So Jessica, do you have anything really important that you feel on your heart that you want to say now to the listeners?
I want to say, go within yourself. Start your healing journey. Like I said, we all have something to heal. It doesn't matter how happy and joyful and how beautiful things are right now.
Well, what are some of the things they can do to heal then? Let's give them some suggestions when you say go inside.
Um, Start, I would say journaling. I mean, journaling your feelings and emotions. Even if you talk about how beautiful your day was, you tap into something when you write. And that's something that I've avoided writing for a long time, and it's interesting. I did this.
Oh,
But
you know what I just
writing,
noticed? Look what I just noticed. She's in the shape of a heart.
oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, writing definitely, because you do find out what's actually in there, because as you write things, you could say, oh, my day was absolutely beautiful and blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden another layer comes on, another thought comes through. You start like filtering through what's in here, and then because you don't know what's in your subconscious, so the more you write, I would say that's the best way to find out what's going on.
Yeah,
Just start your healing journey, because it's truly, we all do need to heal. This planet needs to heal. We have to heal. That is what's going to get us closer to love and unity.
absolutely.
My message is return to love, like return to love,
Absolutely.
even in your most frustrating moments, stressful moments, darkest moments, things that you don't think you could ever get past. And it's very hard to do this because I never could do it before, but I'm practicing what I preach now. And anytime I go into a fearful situation or something is happening on an energetic level that I feel super fearful and uncomfortable with, I literally start thinking about my daughter and how much I love her. And I look at
Mhm.
her and I hold her and I allow those feelings of love to wash over me, even in that moment where I'm terrified. And I sometimes, when I go through my energetic stuff, I feel like my body is like giving out on me. And I push through that. And I'm like, I look at Jade and I hug her and I just allow those feelings of love. And, you know, whatever that is for you, even if you can't find the love within yourself, someone always loves someone. Usually we love people outside
That's
of us
right.
that we love within ourselves. If it's God, your mother, your father, your sister, your sibling, your sister, of course,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
daughter, hold them. Allow those feelings of love to come through you, because that's a way to kind of like, what's that word? Hack through the system, because we have this like programming, all this stuff that's trying to keep us in fear.
It's a frequency that will definitely raise people out of the hate
Yeah,
box.
so hack, that's a great
Mhm.
hack, is let the feelings of love that you feel for someone else, if you can't feel it for yourself, and just allow it to wash over you. And that is an amazing way to return to that love frequency, and it will snap you out of the fear and out of the stress, because when we're in fear and stress, we can't think clearly. And
Mhm.
then your solutions will come to you.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing all that. We're going to wrap this up right now. So give this lady some extra love and hearts and kudos and maybe a comment down below, because it did take great courage for her to share everything in her story. And like she said, she was afraid to do it. So write your heart out. Like she says, journal, write your heart out. And actually, I have a 4-day event coming up called Write Your Heart Out. So for those of you that are afraid to write, that you feel you want to get in touch with something else, you should come over and join the 4-day event in my group, and I'll put the link down below. So Jessica, thank you again for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing a little bit about the trafficking situation that is out there. And if you, Jessica, later on, maybe go in the comments, if you have any resources for people or websites for that where they can get more awareness, please put it down below, okay? Because that'll help people too. You got a lot of thank yous coming in here. You got Jasmine, your sisters, your family, everybody, okay? Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks
Oh,
for joining us. We are so excited that this book. Hey Karen, how are you? Yeah, story.
oh,
We're
thank
so
you.
excited. You heard Jessica talking about God in this channel, all right? When God gave me, because I'm clairaudient, by the way, I hear voices all the time, Jessica. I had a therapist about 20 years ago say, don't tell any doctors. I said, I don't. Awakening the Conscious of Humanity actually was given to me by God over a year ago, about 14 months ago. And I was like, okay, what is this going to bring forth to us? And so being very intuitive and energetically connected, how we align these authors is the energy that I put out to bring the right stories, because I don't know what they're going to be. And it actually was not the way that I thought it was going to go. Okay.
It
So
never is.
you have to be open to that. But I love, love, love that the common theme, the thread actually is about I believe every single person opening up, like letting the layers of the old stuff go, like you were talking about, the judgments, the fear, all of that, and finding that connection. And does it mean we're fully awakened? No, it means we opened our eyes to see the truth. And that's what we need to do right now. Don't you think so?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. Open
Okay,
your eyes.
so let's go support Jessica and all the 7 authors in here who are here to help change the world. There is the link to Amazon. And remember, please go give these gals an awesome review so that people understand why they should read these stories. Jessica, thank you for coming on today. I'm
Oh,
really
you're welcome. And
so
thank you
proud of
to
you.
all that are watching right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day.
Bye. Have a beautiful day.